Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist to the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Shokugeki no Souma, aka Food Wars, Chapter 116. Alright, and this chapter finishes up the Stagiaire Week arc, which is a good thing, because I'm not sure I could have handled 2 more weeks of this. By 2 more weeks, I mean like in story time, not like 2 chapters worth of that I would have been fine with. But another 2 weeks would have been like 2.5 months probably. Like the arc isn't a bad arc. It's just that compared to the Fall Classic, which is like the best arc in the series so far, compared to that, it just doesn't live up. Um, but of course, like I've said plenty of times, there are a lot of good moments in this arc. It's just that altogether, it's kind of just not nearly as hype as the Fall Classic is. So like another 2 weeks of another 2 Stagiaire weeks. I'm happy that the arc is ending now instead of going on for too long. All right. And the way they did this was they just showed us a bunch of different characters during one of the weeks, one of their assignments. Not necessarily the last one, but I would assume for some of them it was the last week, and for some of them it was the third week. Maybe for some of them it was the second week. Who knows? All right, but we saw Rio here. We saw Aoki and Sato, who were those two. They're residents in the Polar Star dorm, or the Polaris dorm, as Viz Media translates it. Um, they're like the two that always fight each other all the time. Like they're like the only two Polar Star dorm people who are completely irrelevant. Like they're not completely irrelevant because they were showed here, but they're not like anybody else. Like they're not Ryoko, they're not Yoshino, they're not Megumi, they're not Soma, they're not like whoever else you can think of. Okay, they're not them. They're not them. But I did think it was kind of funny that they got their own panel time here. But we saw them. We saw the younger Aldini brother. We saw Ibusaki. There you go, Polar Star. We saw Megumi, Ikumi. Ikumi apparently got this ultimate technique or something. I mean, if this was a battle manga, she was learning how to like activate a holo transformation, then that'd be one thing. But I mean, calling it an ultimate technique just doesn't work as well in a cooking manga. It just doesn't have the hype to it, because all it means is she's going to cook better. With this. In a battle manga, I mean, this is technically a battle manga because they're fighting with their cooking. That's what the Shokugekis are, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much a battle manga. But like in an action manga, the techniques actually like they mean something. Like I don't want to put it that way, but in an action manga, the techniques mean something. Here, they don't really mean anything. All you need to do is make the food taste better. Which from a writing perspective, it doesn't really matter. Like, what if you label a technique as an ultimate technique? I mean, it's just all it means is you're cooking better, So it just doesn't hold the same weight. It just doesn't hold the same weight in a cooking manga as it would in a battle manga, in an action battle manga, where like let's say he just went from using Getsuga Tensho to using a spirit bomb, like like that's a big that's a big improvement. That's a big power up right there, all right. But getting a new technique for cooking meats, like okay, great, all right, cool. It just doesn't hold the same weight, right? But that's what's going on with them. It looked like Ibusaki was in a position where he might actually fail, but I'm sure he didn't fail. I mean, if freaking Aoki and Sato make it through, then Ibusaki isn't getting expelled. Okay, let's just get that out of the way right now. I'm pretty sure he's fine. All right, but we do end up seeing a lot of people who do fail, though. Especially that one dude who went on social media and started bashing the restaurant, its employees and stuff. What an idiot! Like, how stupid can you be? Like, why? Why would you do that? Like that. He failed, and he deserved to fail. He was too complacent. He was too complacent. Okay, but we saw a ton of people fail. And the last thing we see is Souma returning to the Polar Star dorm. Okay, and we learned that throughout this last month, he's gotten a ton of challenges for Shokugeki. I would assume most, if not all of them, are from second years. He actually ends up getting confronted by one of the second years in this chapter, the Iron Skewer. Okay, and the story here is the mere fact that this dude actually made it through all of the challenges in his first year means that he must be legit. Okay, which is true. I mean that makes perfect sense. That's logically true. But we all know that this dude is fodder and he's going to lose to Souma. He's nothing to Souma, which says a lot about how much Souma has grown. The fact that he can take this guy who is actually legit and make him out to be fodder. Because this Shokugeki, I'd be surprised if we even see this. This is probably going to be off screen. Okay, I am fully expecting to not see anything from the Shokugeki. The next chapter, I would assume, is going to start off with other people coming back to Polar Star and finding out about all these Shokugeki, like maybe seeing like a comedic crying in the dorm from people who someone has beaten. Like I imagine the chapter starting off like that, where like all of this stuff gets off screen. Okay, um, but one good thing about all this, all these challenges that someone's getting, it's the Iron Skewer. This dude mentioned that now that the stagiaire weeks are over, now the first years are allowed to face the second years as well. Okay, so this opens up the door for more characters coming in, more legit people, maybe even some more Elite 10 members like Ishiki. Okay, like we might be able to see some people at that level in action more. All right, so this development opens the door for more legit characters coming in, so that's good. All right, because of that, I'm going to give this chapter a 7 out of 10. I thought it was cool seeing a little bit of some of these characters and what they were going through, what they were doing to evolve, and just opening the door for more stronger characters coming in. All right, but that's it, you guys. I'm giving this chapter 7 out of 10, and that's that. Rate, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at BlacklistOTA, and I'll see you guys next time.